Okay, good afternoon everyone. Now this is my second lecture on the statistical mechanics, and today we are going to do probability. So as you all know, the probability is basically given by number of favorable event for A to occur divided by total number of events. So there are few properties for this probability. One is the probability, maximum probability is given by 1 and minimum probability is given by 0. This is a maximum and this is a minimum. So the probability lies in a range of 0 to 1. So now we'll proceed with one basic example. Suppose you are tossing an unbiased coin. We toss a coin one time. So either we can get head or either we can get tail. So the total number of event is 1 and 2. There are 2. So the probability of getting head is from this event only which is favorable for head is getting head in 1. This is basically will give you 1. So here this is just here. Event favorable for head is given by 1. So the probability of getting a head is given by basically h divided by n, which is basically 1 divided by 2, and this is basically a half. Now similar thing goes for your die also. If you have a die, it has 6 phases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now these are the sides of your, this is your total number of events. Now how will are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in total there are 6. Now favorable for getting 2 is 1. There is only one chance of getting 1 for in 1. So basically a probability for getting 2 is 1 divided by 6, and similar goes for 1, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Now actually this is a very basic definition of a probability. This is a very basic definition of a probability, but we don't know what will happen if we put the weight on one side of your die. Let's say I put some weight on here 1. If you have 1 and we put some weight over here. So now the probability, now it is this previous definition of probability only holds when we know all the outcome. When we know all the possible outcome. Which is not always true. Because just like I have said, suppose it's basically applicable when you have symmetry. What does that mean is, now a probability of getting each side is equally distributed, like 1/6, 1/6, 1/6 for each and every side. For all the sides is 1/6. Now it has some symmetry. Now if we break this symmetry by considering or putting some weight on one side of a die, of this die, let's put some weight over here so that this will appear less, the frequency of this coming out to be less. Now this definition we cannot use, so we have to define the new definition for the probability. So this is how we are going to do it. Suppose we cast a die n times. We cast a die n times. This is the number of trials, and m times we got 1. So is the probability given by of getting 1 is the probability of getting 1 is, or S right, PA is m by 2? The question is, the answer is no, because suppose let's say you do this experiment and let's say you throw the die one time you throw a die. Suppose initially what you got, for so on and so forth, you got 6 on your first trial. So how many times it has appeared? 0 times. The number of trials was 1. So here this probability became 0. So which is not possible. We know for this unbiased, this is unbiased die. This is not asymmetric, this is a symmetric die which has an equal probability of getting everything. But over here what happens is that this is not matching with this. So this kind of term is called frequency. This new definition is called frequency. Basically how frequently it's occurring, that is your frequency. This is a different term which we have introduced now. Now if we if we toss a coin 50 times, okay, if we toss a coin, number of trials, how many times? 50 times. Let's say we got head, how many times? 10 times. Now the frequency of getting head is 10 divided by 50, which is 1/5, which is 0.2. But we know probability of getting head is not what? Is not 0.2, but it's 0.5. So actually this is how your frequency and your probability differs. But there must be some limit at which these two match. Now if we keep on increasing the number of trials, if we increase the number of trials, what we'll get? It will start becoming same as a probability. I'll show you one example. Because we know the most probable event occurs more frequently. The most probable event occur most frequently. This is the thing which we know actually. Most probable event always occur more frequently. Now how to make this to exact? By increasing the number of trials. So there is some relation between this probability and your frequency. Actually initially as the number of trial increases, the frequency of event loses its randomness. As we keep on increasing the number of trials, the randomness in the events substantially gets down. So gradually it will approach a constant value. So the frequency actually, it can be anything, let's say 1 by 5, let's say 1 by 10, 1 by 8 for that tossing of the coin. It can be anything, but after some time it will start slowing down. This changes starts slowing down and it will reach towards a what? A constant value. It will move towards a constant value. So this is how we will define probability. So the new definition of probability is given by limit number of trials tending towards A, and this is basically a frequency. This is number of times it appears times it appears, this is total number of trial, So what is A? So how many trials we must take? So the number of trials, by definition, it says we have to take A. A is basically the number of trials when m by n starts becoming constant. It's basically, let's say you have done huge number of trials and you are getting m by n is equals to 0.5001. okay, now if you slightly increase the number of trials by 1, n plus 1, this m, let's say m2, this will become also be closely related to. Now when this starts happening, then this n we can take as A. So this is the number of trials which we must take, so that this m by n ratio tends towards same value. So at this moment your probability will be equal to your probability of getting A will be equal to your frequency. So this is a new definition for your frequency. So this is very important, because always we don't have a control over the system, and always we don't know how the final outcome of the system. So this is how we will take care of that thing. So even for your asymmetric system, let's say for your die which is slightly heavier on this side, we keep on doing the number of trials, such that finally your frequency becomes constant, and that will become your probability. So this is how, this is more general actually, but the number of trials should be extremely large, and this is applicable for everything. So I will show you how this behaves. So here I have just written this n is the number of trials. This is basically your number of trials. Let's say you toss the coin 10 times. You toss the coin how many times? 10 times. This will either you will get head or tail. So this is the random integer. 0 basically means your head and 1 basically means tail. So either you can get head or either you can get tail. Let's do it for 2 times. So basically you got 0 1, basically you got head or tail, and if you increase this 3 0 1, now this is very random, you got head tail tail, basically this means head tail and tail. This is different. Now what is this h is? This is the how many times we are getting head. Let's say over here we got head is 0, how many times? 2 times. So basically this will give you a number of heads. Okay, now this is basically a number of times an event A has occurred, basically number of times the head has occurred basically. Now if we do it 10 times, now 1 2 3 4 times, 5 times the head has occurred. If we do it 15 times, this is 5 times, 1 2 3 4 5 times the head has occurred. Now we know this is basically your m now, and this will give you what? A random event, head tail, head, what will come. And if you do it 15 times, now your frequency is defined by, this is your m, let's put it m itself, m by n, total number of event. Let's do it for this. How much we are getting? 0.6. 9 times it has appeared, so 9 divided by 15 will give you 0.6. 9 divided by how many? 15 will give you how much? 0.6. So this is your frequency. Now we want to see at what limit this frequency will be equal to your probability. But we know the probability of getting head is how much? Probability of getting head is how much? 0.5. Let's say we do this how many times? 200 times is getting 0.5 let's do it 500 times, still remaining constant. 700 times, it having certain value. Let's do it 1000 times, it has certain value. Now it's started becoming constant. If we increase this, it has becoming constant. So now this is moving towards what? Your probability, exactly moving towards your probability of your getting hit will be equal to your frequency. This is how this two matches. Now even if we increase slightly, then now let's say if we just increase it by 1, how much it will get? Now it's very close. Previous number was this, so the new number becomes this. If we take the difference of this two, this is 0.0001. now this means that this is roughly a constant. Now at this moment what we can say, now this will be, frequency will be equal to a probability. It's roughly same up to a it's, let's say 0.499, which we can roughly take as 0.5. Now this is how we can see your probability and frequency matches at a certain limit. After that we don't have to take. So this is what we get. The probability of finding an event will be equal to your frequency for limit when number of trials will be extremely large. So thank you, that much for today. No, there is one more thing, ensemble. Basically the ensemble is, if you considered previously how many trials did you take? You toss a coin. How many times? Toss a coin 50 times you toss a coin. Instead of you doing this trial 50 times, what you can do is you can make an identical kind of system, identical people you put and toss it one time, 50 number of sorts copies, so you have to do it only one time. So this is basically a number of system. So basically n is here number of system, n is equals to number of identical system. So this whole collection is called what? Ensemble. A collection of identical system is called here ensemble. Instead of doing a trial again and again on the same system for 50 times, what we can do, we can take a collection of such system and make it an ensemble, as both will give you a exactly an identical result. So thank you, that much for today. So tomorrow we are going to continue with basically some basic rules of probability theory. There we will do summation rule and all, product rule and all. So thank you.